Hello and welcome back to BrokeN Boys. This is episode 188,
Yeah.
and I'm Colin.
And I am Mike.
And yeah, today we're going to be talking about our albums that we listened to throughout the month of September, but also, more importantly, our experience at the ClaNcy World Tour, Night 1 in Chicago at the United Center.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that, how was your week, Mike?
Week was good. Week was fine. I also don't really have too much to talk about aside from, the big thing.
Right.
But been doing a little bit of Batman, doing a little bit of music. I've been a little bit more off of social media as of late, which, I think it's just kind of good for my own, personal health and stuff. I'm not sure if you saw Drew Gooden's video that came out. Oh wait, we talked about this briefly. You said you hadn't seen it. Um, but he made a video about how like everyone's trying to waste your time or something like that. It's a good video. Would plug that for anyone listening. But in that video, he kind of brings up this app that he's been using recently for like TikTok or whatever, that like you can like set limits for like how long you're actually on the app, and then it'll forcefully make sure you can't look at the app after a certain amount of time, just so that you don't get stuck in that endless scrolling loop and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I put that on my TikTok as well, and been feeling fresh and not not really just stuck scrolling a lot. What does suck is whenever like you or John send me something, for some reason it doesn't give me notifications now because of that. So a lot of times I don't see when things are sent until I go into the app, and then I'm like, oh, John sent me 11 videos or messages, which is fine. I mean, I'm fine with that, but I always feel bad with sending me stuff and I'm not sending anything back. I mean, I respond to what he sends, but
Yeah.
other than that though, not really been doing too much. I think I mentioned, but doing a little bit of Batman still on Arkham City. Probably going to be here for a couple weeks, just grinding it out. But I've been shorter spurts of that as well. And yeah, then went to a concert on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we will definitely get into that. But oh yeah, and then also like for some reason yesterday I was a little sneezy 2 days ago.
Uh-huh.
I was call me like one of those seven dwarves. So I was a bit sneezy. And Yesterday was like real bad for some reason. I would just like would not stop sneezing. My nose was runny. Um,
Yeah.
and both my mom and my friends were like, "You sure you're not like sick, coming down with a cold or something?" I'm like, I don't think so. I've never had, me personally at least, I've never had a cold start with just sneezing and the
Right.
runny nose. For me, it's almost always starts in the throat. Um,
Uh-huh.
and Yeah, thankfully I haven't been doing that today. I was worried I was gonna have to be like muting during the pod because just incessant sneezing. But yeah, sinuses
Mm.
are doing okay right now, so I think we'll be good. Um,
But
yeah, it's really good for me. But I did listen to a few things this week. One thing I listened, I think I don't remember if I mentioned it on the pod. I think I did, but my friend Daniel, he's been casually listening to like the top albums on album of the year, as well as like the rate your music, like the Mew Core Essentials or whatever. He's been
uh,
listening through those, and one thing that he found, he said that has been his favorite thing that he's found so far, was an album called Hospice by the Antlers. Um, and I checked it out, and I liked it quite a bit. And I guess I'll just leave it at that for now, because I did listen to that in the month of September, so it will be on my list. But then last night, last night was like a wet dream for music nerds because we got we got drops from off-brand Black Midi, off-brand Radiohead, and Godspeed You Black Emperor. So
Uh,
um, music nerds everywhere are coming this weekend. But, um, I listened to two of those though. I listened to Cutouts by The Smile. I guess I'll just start with that real quick, just briefly. I think it's good. I was a little, I don't remember if I talked on here, but I was a little mixed on some of the singles that they've been releasing. A
yeah.
lot of them felt like just like, Radiohead stuff is usually slower, and Tom York stuff, I guess, in general is on the slower side, but these ones felt, some of them felt slower without a purpose. And I still feel that way about those tracks, but like the actual album had a lot more personality to it. It's called Cutouts. I don't remember if I mentioned that. So
Yeah.
I think it's like B-sides or like leftovers from the last record, maybe even the record before. So
Okay.
it's a little all over the place, but I think the up-tempo tracks are definitely a little bit better than some of the slower stuff on there. But I was surprised because I enjoyed it quite a bit, despite me not liking about half the singles. um,
Right.
um, but yeah, there's some good stuff on there. I was revisiting it again tonight a little bit, and I was like, yeah, some really really good stuff. And right now I have it at like a strong 7 or so, but I might change that as the month of October goes. I don't know, we'll see. Um,
Mm.
and then the second,
Jimmer,
and then the
she's
second thing,
eyes.
the second thing was I don't know if she was talking to me. I couldn't really make her out.
She's watching. She's rewatching The Last of Us,
Oh,
and
okay.
Shimmer popped up on screen, and she's like, "Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Shimmer. What a great character that stays for a long time.
oh."
The other thing I listened to last night was the new sound by Mr. Geordie Greep of Black Midi,
Right.
his solo album, and I really really like this album. It's very 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 good. And he really surprised me a lot with like his versatility. Like it's more versatile than I think like any of the Black Midi records are. It kind of has like this really cool cohesive feel to it that feels unique, unique to him and everything. Um,
Uh,
and yeah, it just I don't know, like it gets like genuinely kind of sweet in the last few tracks. It's like I don't usually associate that with Greep or Black Midi, um, and but it also gets wild, and it's pretty vulgar and absurd at points. It's great.
mm.
It's a unique little experience, and I've been loving it for the last
So
24 hours.
I was gonna ask if this other songs were as out there as the one you had as song of the week.
I would say a few of them get even more out there for sure.
Oh,
Um, um, but like I said, there's also like it has like genuinely like really really beautiful moments on it too, which is just like I don't know. It's just it's like
off
Maurice, how'd you say?
off brand from
Yeah,
usual.
I know. Yeah, it's great. And I'm really 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 enjoying it, and it might be my album of the year. Maybe I don't know. I want to let it sit for a little bit longer, but um, yeah, definitely loving that album. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all for my week. I haven't really done all too much significant besides concert, but yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Colin?
It was okay, other than the concert. I've been playing more Arkham Knight.
Mm.
I've just been good. I forgot how much I like the combat and all like the the what's the traversal
Oh
in
yes.
that game. Good stuff. Good stuff. Um, and then work. Work's been work. Last weekend was real bad. It was homecoming weekend
Mm.
and very very busy and just nonstop all day on Saturday. Um, we were very 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 busy and it was no good. It was just a lot. And then on top of that, there was an incident that happened because of a big party
Mm-hmm.
So, my mom texted me at like 2 a.m. and was like, "Is everything okay down there? I've been seeing videos." I was like, and I was bad. I was fast asleep. I was honk shoeing, meing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was getting to me. I
Yeah.
woke up at like, I don't know, 7 a.m. just to like, use the bathroom real quick, and I saw my mom text me. I was like, "What the fuck?" I didn't hear any noise, anything. There was no disturbance to my sleep, so I was like, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
whatever." And then I was seeing videos and stuff. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
It was like all of it was really close to the gas station I used to work at, and I was like, "God damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy shit." Um, but all good in the hood. Otherwise, work's been fine. Stuff is calmed down with managers and the threats of leaving and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
The manager that was almost assaulted was given everything that, and so it looks like she's staying. So
All
I'm
right.
happy with that. Should be good. Still don't know how much longer I want to stay there, but for now, it's better than it would have been if she was not given her wants, but her list of demands. But
Yeah.
it's been okay. Yesterday or today wasn't too bad. I saw wasn't today, but on Monday I saw I was in the back window taking orders and money, and somebody rear-ended another person right in front of me
Yeah.
in the drive-through, and I was like, "Oh!" I heard the noise, and I saw the car jolt forward, and I was like, "Oh!" And the guy pulled up. The guy who got hit pulled up to the window, and was like, he was like looking back, and his face was all flustered and angry, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Do you want your receipt?" And he was like, "No," and I was like, "Okay, have a good one."
Yeah.
And then once the line moved, he moved, and then the guy who hit him was in a big red pickup truck and pulled up, and it was this old man with real shaky hands, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder if he's just shaky because of what just happened, or if he's just naturally shaky."
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, in my head, I was like, "You should not be driving anymore. You should not be."
If you had to put an age on this guy, what would you say?
80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably not.
80s.
Especially a big
Yeah.
pickup truck too.
Big pickup truck, real shaky
Yeah.
hands. I was like, you should not be behind the wheel of a car anymore. But then, yesterday he came back through and got the same exact meal and everything. And I was like, dude, if I rear-ended somebody in the drive-through of a McDonald's, I would never ever go to that McDonald's ever again.
Yeah, yeah.
I would go to a different one. But like that's ridiculous. I would never ever show my face there again. And,
Yeah.
his hands were shaky then again. So I was like, okay, so this man is just,
Oh, okay. So yeah, that confirms it.
yeah, he's he's
Just
just
a shaky individual, you know.
it's like, ooh, oh, bruh. Um, but that was funny. And then last week, I don't know if I talked about it on the pod, but our washing machine stopped working.
Mm.
And
Is there like a washing unit like in like the building or something?
we have a washer dryer inside of our apartment.
Oh,
So
oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I remember now.
yeah, so when the first year I was here, the washer broke and we had to get a whole new unit. Um, and that was nice, but all of a sudden a couple weeks ago, it stopped filling up with water, and it spun fine. Like I would set it to drain and spin, and it would spin fine. So it wasn't anything to do with like the spinning mechanism or anything, but it wasn't filling with water. And I
Hmm.
was like, okay, well, that's not good. And before I put in a work order, one of my roommates did. And I was like, okay, yeah, there's two in there. I marked mine as emergency. It should be looked at. It wasn't looked at until last Tuesday, I want to say, maybe Wednesday,
Mm.
after me and my roommate had put in our work orders the week prior. And I was like, what? And like they came in, they didn't even look at it. They asked one of my roommates what was wrong with it, and then just left. And
Mm.
there was no communication as to like what was happening. Are they going to fix it? What? So last Friday, my roommate called the office and was like, "Hey, so we've almost been short a washer for 2 weeks. Any updates on anything?" And they're like, "Yeah, we ordered a part. Should be it should be coming in early next week or so, which is this week." And we were like, he was like, "Okay, well, it's one of the amenities we pay for. Is there like anything that can be done? Like, do we get any compensation?" And they were like, "Well, there's a laundromat by a Jewel." And I was like, and he was like, "Are you gonna pay for us to use the laundromat?" And they were like, "No, we can't do that."
Mm.
Um, so they were like, "You can call management on Monday." And so he called management on Monday. After on Sunday, I went to the laundromat to do my laundry because I needed to do laundry pretty bad.
Yeah.
I had to pay to do laundry when it's already something that I pay as a part of my rent, which was due on Tuesday, which I
Oh,
paid
awesome. Just cherry on
Friday.
top.
Uh, um, yeah. And I wasn't there when he called, but I came back from work and I was like, "Any word? Anything?" And he was like, "Yeah, they said it'll be fixed either this afternoon or tomorrow morning." And they didn't come this afternoon, so I'm assuming tomorrow morning. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I was like, and he was like, as as far as compensation, pretty much go fuck yourself. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, real cool.
Awesome.
It's not like it's a big thing that we pay for as a part of our apartment, but whatever,
You
it's
know,
fine.
yeah, it's
Um,
still, yeah.
they fixed it, and at least we have that now. But
Right.
still not cool. I had to go to a laundromat to do my laundry when I have a washer and dryer in my apartment.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Big, fun little part of the week.
Mm.
Otherwise, watched a couple things. I rewatched the first It with
Oh,
Max.
like I'm
Uh,
guessing the first newer one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and that was good. I hadn't seen it in a few years, so it was good to revisit that.
Yeah.
Um, Good movie, like that one.
I remember liking both of
Uh,
those quite a bit. Yeah.
yeah,
I,
I've
I,
only seen the second one time, but
me too. And I know that one's a little more mixed, but I remember enjoying that one. But I don't know.
yeah, I remember liking parts of it. I definitely like the casting, Bill
Oh yeah.
Hader, James McAvoy, etc. But we rewatched it. I was thinking about watching the second one last night, but it was like 9, and I was like looking for a movie to watch, and I was like, "Oh, It Chapter 2's on Max," and I went over, and I didn't really I completely forgot it was like a 3-hour movie, and I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit!"
Yeah. It was a long one. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. Um, so I ended up choosing a movie that I'd heard about, and I've heard it's good, called Interview with the Vampire.
Okay.
Which is a movie that came out in, I believe, 1991.
All right.
Um, it has Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and
Is it like a spooky
Antonio
movie?
Banderas. It's not really. It's like a historical drama,
Mm.
kind of. Uh, but Tom Cruise plays a vampire called Lestat, who turns Brad Pitt into a vampire
Mm.
whose name is Louis.
Louis.
And it starts in 1791 and goes through the years and everything. And it was good. It was a lot gayer than I was expecting it to be.
Mm.
Um, very homoerotic through a lot of it. Just Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, are basically a gay couple.
Twilight
That,
before Twilight. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, maybe there's something that influenced something there.
Yeah.
But these vampires definitely didn't sparkle in the light. I'll say that.
Damn.
But it was good though. The Kirsten Dunst was in it, and she was Mary Jane in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she's the wife of Jesse Plemons.
that's right.
And she was very young in this movie, but she did a very good job. She did great, a lot better than I was expecting her to. But it's a good movie. I recommend it. It's about
Cool.
2 hours.
Sorry, I was looking it up on IMDb, just
Oh,
out of curiosity, and it says rated R for vampire violence. I just love how that's specified
yeah,
in the
yeah, that was
official
funny.
MPAA rating.
Vampire, yeah, that's very
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, but it was good. I enjoyed it. Recommend it. I didn't listen to anything this week. Meant to listen to the Phineas album. I had tried to get part of my shift covered uh, today, but my GM did not even look at the app to do that today. I don't
Hmm.
think because it was off. And even though Max offered to take half of it, and another one of my coworkers tried to take the first half, and I would have had the day off. I went in for my whole shift. So awesome! Thank you, general manager of my McDonald's.
Awesome.
Uh,
Would love
yeah,
it.
yeah, it was great. But that's okay. I'll listen to stuff next week, hopefully. But yeah, that's basically my week.
Cool. Um, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess just on the topic of new music, just to cover all the things that were released this week. Um, I mentioned the Geordie Greep, the Smile, and then also Godspeed You Black Emperor, which
Right.
I still have yet to like really fully dive into them. But you know, music nerds love them. Um, but we also had a little deluxe album from Sampha drop from his album last year. It had like another, there was like that little Sims track on there, and then it had another track remix with Dancing Circles on there, and then another new song called Reentry, which I thought was really good, and
Mhm.
then another track there too that was cool. Um, but you know, I really enjoyed that album last year. I need to check out his first album still, but everything I hear from him is just like ear candy. So like
Yeah.
I don't, I like Sampha. I'm a Sampha guy, I guess. And then like you were saying, Phineas, for crying out loud, album dropped. That's good reviews actually at the moment on album of the
Okay.
year. So I think it has higher than yeah it has higher than his last project. So I'm
Good.
maybe I'll check that out too. Um, but and then we got a Coldplay album too.
Oh,
Moon Music. Um, Little Sims is on that one too. On that
all right.
album. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. Um, but you know, just another one to add to the Coldplay pile of their inevitable artist analysis. I'm pretty sure they're on that wheel. Um,
Yeah,
what was that?
I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, all of that. Did I miss anything else like big I'm seeing? I don't think so, but
Uh,
that's still quite a bit. Whoa, what's up?
yeah. There was the Laser McAlpine also released a deluxe version of
Ah,
Older,
yeah,
and
older
then
and wiser. I'm seeing that right now.
yes. Uh, I don't know about any more releases, but I think Charlie XCX is teasing more collab remixes and stuff
Yeah, I
with
with who?
billboards
Oh,
just
billboards.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I think yeah, next week, October 11th, she's releasing Brat and it's completely different but also still Brat, which I think is just gonna be, you know, all those artists, like every track's gonna have like a remix artist collab. Is at least
Yeah.
that's what I'm assuming at least. Um
Yeah.
and
But it's like 1975. I saw Chapel Roan,
oh,
so that'd be
Chapel
cool.
Roan will be great, yeah.
Oh yeah.
1975, I could see that going either way, but
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense when she's dating someone who's part of that band. Um,
She really?
yeah, yeah, like George. I don't remember his last name.
Okay.
Um, but George is I think he's like one of the like aside from Maddie, I think he's like the other like known member from the band. And I think he does a lot of the production for Charlie as well, if I'm not mistaken, or at least does
That's cool.
some. Yeah, George Daniel. Um, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
lot of new music this week.
for sure.
Good week for music lovers of all kinds, really. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah. Other than
yeah,
that, I don't have any like world new. I mean, I guess there was like the vice presidential debate. I didn't really see too much from that though, me personally.
yeah. I saw a couple clips. I didn't. I was watching Hassan react to it for a little while, but I was like, this isn't as exciting.
Yeah,
Um,
they're talking
but there
about
were
politics. It's boring.
there were a couple standout moments where so I guess there wasn't any like live fact checking, but at one point JD Vance said something that was completely false, and one of the moderators was like, "So that was false," and JD was like, "So there wasn't. The rule was there was no fact checking."
Yeah.
So not a great look.
No, no, not at all. I remember you said that in the car, and I like couldn't believe that something that can leave your mouth during a debate. But
Yeah, but Tim Walz seemed to do a good job. He got on JD a good bit, but they also both are more mild mannered and a little more respectful than Trump. So, well,
yeah.
JD Vance, Tim Walz obviously is, but JD Vance is still a moron. He's still, but
Oh yeah, completely. I
he,
will say that like from the very little I did see, like it's he behaved better than I expected him
yeah,
to.
right.
Like I expected like he seemed like an absolute clown from the shit I've seen before this, and like the fact that he was making complete sentences, it was like, oh okay, I mean, I mean if you're into it, yeah,
Yeah, he's definitely a mild mannered man. Well, not, but like a
in a debate setting,
yeah, a man from Ohio.
yeah.
But yeah, sounds exciting, of
Hmm.
course.
Do you have any
But
other world news stuff?
I don't believe so. I mean, there was the Hurricane Helene ripped through the South and like Florida and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, wasn't good. Um, but yeah, other than that, don't think so.
Alright. Um, well, how do we want to do? You want to do the monthly roundup first and then talk a little
Yeah,
about
but
culture? Cool.
yeah,
This month I have seven. I have seven this month.
I believe I have like four.
All right. Cool. Well, I will start off then. Um, uh, this is a monthly roundup of all the albums that we listened to in the month of September. Um, Someone woke us up because September ended, and now we're talking about albums. That was bad. Whatever. First
Oh,
thing I listened to.
wait!
Oh,
live,
what?
live update.
Live update.
Uh, the show in Columbus tonight for the ClaNcy tour is being recorded for a live album.
Oh, okay. Let's go. I also saw on like a fan's like Instagram story or something that they were checking. They were doing sound checks with Slowtown, so they might get
Uh,
Slowtown tonight.
yeah, I heard Slowtown and Homebound, so they
Oh,
might
and
get both of
hometown,
those.
yeah, Slowtown hometown mashup. um, well, that's awesome though. Love a little live album. I know a lot of people
Oh,
like that Blurry Face live album, but I'm not sure if I've ever actually listened to it. But
me either. I think
yeah,
it was only released on vinyl, so
maybe that's why. I mean, I'm sure there's a rip of it somewhere, but
oh,
that's cool though. Um, they do love their hometown. um,
but
uh,
you go on.
what weird. The only people to love Ohio. Um, but anyways, first album I listened to in the month of September. It's one that I'm definitely gonna give another listen to, but it was Blonde by Frank Ocean. Um, and I wasn't really super into it on first listen. I also wasn't like super expecting the type of sound that it had. Like it was a little more weird than I thought it was going to be.
Ah,
And I just didn't go into it with that mindset. So I need to revisit it with the mindset that, yeah, it's actually a little weird. But I thought it was good though. But I didn't like love it on first listen. Um, but yeah, I mean, the initial like placeholder score for right now is like a strong 7 for me, but that could be completely revamped whenever I listen to it again, and I'll probably, I don't know, I'll mention it on here again if I listen to it um and like it a little bit better. But yeah, just wasn't prepared for it, wasn't mentally ready for it, I guess. Yeah, but
that's all right.
yeah.
Cool. First thing that I listened to in the month of September was the Alexander Technique by Rex Orange County. I have not returned to it, but I do remember enjoying my time listening through that first time when it released, though it was late and it was quite a long album. Um, I do remember it having those moments that what the fuck was his other album? What was the last album called?
Who cares?
uh, those moments where there were some like unfinished or like non fleshed out songs that like I wanted to hear more of,
Yeah.
but just didn't come to fruition. Which like is fine, but when the album is as bloated and long as it is, those probably could have been left on the cutting board. Um, but it's not all bad. There are a couple standouts for me. I really like Guitar Song. I like The Table a lot. And I also really like the song with James Blake on it, Looking in the Eyes. I remember liking all of those really very much. Um, it's one I have to return to really like solidify more thoughts on. But off first listen a month ago, pretty much. I like it, and I'd probably give it a. I don't remember what I gave it on album of the year when I rated it. Probably like I think I gave it like a light 7, strong 6. But, yeah,
Cool. Next thing I listened to was the Marias, Submarine. John was advertising this one to us. I think he said it was his album of the year currently. Um,
yes.
and that intrigued me enough. I was like, okay, I should give that a listen. And I liked it. It had this really low key, kind of synthy, like what's this say, indie pop, bedroom pop, dream pop, yeah, that kind of stuff. It had synthy, vibey vibes. And I really liked her vocals throughout a lot of it. The production was really nice too. Um, and I remember distinctly liking a lot of like the melodies and stuff that she sang. Like it was pretty catchy. And I enjoyed myself throughout it. I honestly haven't really returned to it too much. I will return to it when probably in the next couple months here when I start doing um, my albums of the year. um, start when I start collecting those. But there was a lot of like really cool highlights on here. Like "Love You Anyway" is what I chose for my song of the week, and I really enjoyed that song. And I also rated Blur and Vicious Sensitive Robot pretty high. Um, but like it was just consistently very good. I remember thinking that throughout the whole thing. I was like, dang, it's really good. um, and yeah, I have it at like a light to decent 8 right now. But definitely one to give a listen to. I think it's pretty cool.
For sure. I guess I have 5 because I forgot that I listened to this. I forgot I listened to Submarine as well in September.
Tisk
Thought that was
tisk
August.
tisk.
So
Yeah.
prior to Alexander Technique, I listened to this to Submarine by the Marias as well, and it's also one that I need to return to, and that I didn't give more than one listen. But I do remember liking it a good bit, not to the extent that John does. Um, but it was still nice on the ears. I think the lead singer has a very nice voice. I like the production throughout, um, and the instrumentals were great as well. I remember liking the songs in Spanish, "Lejos de Ti" and
Mm.
um, and "I No Puedo" as well. but it's one that I need to return to as well to solidify my thoughts on more, especially towards the end of the year for year-end lists, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But good album, good vibes, great voice, and I think on album of the year, I gave it. Here, I can go look right now.
Oh my gosh, live updates again.
Round
That's
of
what I do whenever we do these roundups. I'm usually on my album of the year pages.
yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
um,
It's easier
uh,
for me though because I'm on a computer. So.
that is true. If it'll log in, maybe.
Oh.
I believe I gave it a late 8, but
Okay.
yeah, good
Cool.
album.
Yeah, and just speaking of those year-end album lists, I don't know if dreading's the right word, but I am a little intimidated this year for
Yeah,
because I've listened to more this year than usual. I feel like, and I'm
yeah, you have been good with your listenings.
yeah, I have a lot to sift through and decide ratings to put into lists. So, but we'll get there when we get there. It's October 4th. But yeah, next
About a
thing.
solid 8, by the way.
What was that?
It was about a solid 8, by the way.
Solid 8. Nice.
Yeah. Also, I guess I gave the Alexander technique a solid 8 as well. But I don't think I agree with that at this point.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say that's pretty different from what you said. Speaking of Alexander technique, though, that's the next thing I listened to. And I pretty much agree with everything you said. Like, I think it's good. And I like how it goes in a little bit more of a singer-songwriter direction on here. Because we haven't really gotten that style from him. And I think, the highlights, like you were saying, like Guitar Song and Look Me in the Eyes. And there was something else that I liked on here quite a bit. I guess the table a bit. I don't know. um, I don't remember. I only listened to it. I think I listened to it twice when it came out, but it is a long album, and like you were saying, I think it is a little over bloated. Quite a bit bloated, actually, I would say, and just a lot of unmemorable tracks on it, unfortunately. Um, and it's not bad, but like I just think it probably if it was a little more focused, I think it would be a little bit more memorable.
Yeah.
But you know, it's all right. Not my favorite from him, but I also like it better than like Pony. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I have it at like a strong 6 right now. Um, yeah.
Uh, Next thing I listened to was Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park.
Oh,
Uh,
I
it's a
forgot
it's an
you'd
album.
listened to that. Did you mention
Yeah,
that on the pod?
I think I did. It was the week that Emily Armstrong was announced as the singer, and
Yeah.
the empty
Oh, yeah. I do remember now. I just blanked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the emptiness, the week that the emptiness machine was released. But yeah, it's probably more of a re-listen because I did listen to it years and years ago. But it's one that I had not returned to until this month, and yeah, it's a great, iconic for a reason album. It's got a lot of their big tracks on it. In the end, crawling, one step closer, like just real big tracks, and they're all really great. I think Chester has such a cool and unique voice that worked super well for Linkin Park, and um, yeah, it was just it's a great debut album. Like I don't think it's what's one of those like debut albums. Like damn, that's like it's crazy that it's a debut because there's a lot
Yeah.
of fucking hits on here. Um, but some of my favorites were those that I mentioned, but also by myself and Paper Cut. Great songs, great album. I'd probably give it like a solid to strong 8. Really, really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next thing I listened to was Lucy Dacus's "No Burden," her debut album. This is the only new one for me from there, and I do remember enjoying it quite a bit. I liked how it was pretty stripped back and pretty like lo-fi a little bit, and had the fall vibes to it, and just had a really nice sounds and good melodies and all that kind of stuff. but it wasn't like there wasn't anything like too mind blowing on here, but it was just pretty consistently good. I liked it. Um, with only like a couple tracks that really were just kind of like, I'm not huge on those. But like overall, it was good. I enjoyed my time with it, and I could see why others would like it more than I do. But yeah, I have it at like a light 7. Not really too much to say about it.
Yeah, that's the next album I also listened to, No Break by Lucy Dacus. I haven't returned to it, but I thought it was a solid debut and about what I expected from her. Um, she, the songwriting, great, not like as good as it would get in the next couple albums, but from the start, she had like good chops for telling cool stories, and she did a good job. I liked the rocky, bluesy feel. It wasn't anything like stunning, but it was a solid debut from Miss Lucy. If you want to hear our full thoughts, you can go head over to that artist analysis
Damn
of Lucy
straight.
Davis. But some of my favorites were I Don't Want to Be Funny Anymore, uh, Green Eyes, Red Face, and Map on a Wall. And I gave it a decent 7.
Cool. I forgot to mention some of my favorites on there. Some of mine were Map on a Wall, Troublemaker, Doppelganger, Dream State, and Green Eyes, Red Face. For Lucy Dacus. But yeah, next thing I listened to was Katy Perry's 143. Um, a lot of talk about this album. I do think it's kind of one of those albums that people I feel like, like 2 or 3 times a year, there's just an album that comes out that people just love to shit on and just go into it expecting it to be terrible. And like, to an extent I did that too. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but it is just like incredibly cookie cutter and boring. Like this it's not good. Don't get me wrong, but like it's also not like offensively bad most of the time.
Yeah.
Just yeah, just a whole nothing burger pretty much. But one thing I forgot to mention on here, there's a song called "Gimme Gimme" on here that I my album of the year review is just this. I said somebody owes Danny Gonzalez some royalties for this song, because it literally feels like it's written by him, except with zero irony. Like just the rhyme scheme, like the ad libs and everything. Like it sounds exactly like how Danny Gonzalez writes his like parody type tracks. Um,
That's
yeah, it's insane. That was one of the like, yeah, that's pretty bad. One of those songs. But like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's also not anything I'm returning to ever. So yeah, I have it at like a light 3. No
cool.
highlights.
Uh, my next and last album I listened to in the month of September. Unfortunately, that's a lot of time without listening to an album, but that's okay. Historian by Lucy Dacus. I really, really loved this album. I think that it's her best work, I believe. That's what I believe. Yeah, that was my favorite album from her. Great production, amazing storytelling. I really loved a lot of the tracks off of here. Um, though I will say the the closing track, Historians, was a little lackluster for an ending track. I like all of the rest of it. Some of my favorite tracks from her come from this album: Night Shift, Time Fighter, Pillar of Truth, Body to Flame. All really, really great tracks. But as I said, with no burden, if you want to hear full thoughts, you can head over to Artist Analysis. But those were some of my favorites off of that, and I gave that album a decent 9.
Cool. And yeah, I also very much enjoyed that album, and you should check out the video for my thoughts more and more. But I
Yes.
had listened to it before, so I didn't put it in mine. But yeah, I have 2 more things. Next thing I listened to was Joey Valence and Bray, No Hands. These guys are kind of like a comedy rap duo, but also kind of not comedy. Like the music is taken seriously, but the lyrics aren't, I think is the best way to put it. Um, And yeah, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that's like not for me. And there's a lot of people loving it this year, and I can see why they would, because the energy is very infectious, and all that stuff. The production's very, very good throughout. But I'm just not a big fan of the lyrics. I don't really find the punchlines that funny in the in the grand scheme of things. Um,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know. It's not really my thing, but like if someone invited me to go to like a live show of theirs, I probably would. It's a weird dilemma I have with these guys.
Yeah.
But you know, it's okay, but it's just not really for me. I have it at a strong 6. And then the last thing I listened to that I alluded to earlier was an album called Hospice by the Antlers. And this was a really surprising album for me. It's like I'll just read off some of the genres because that's what made me think it sounded cool. Indie rock, post rock, chamber pop, ambient pop, art rock, slowcore, and dream pop. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that I love in there. And I was really intrigued when I listened to it. And I don't know, I really enjoyed the record. I listened through it a couple times because the first time I didn't realize it was a concept album. Daniel did not. I don't think Daniel knows what a concept album is, so he did not tell me about that. But second time through, it tells like this really just like pretty heartbreaking story about like an abusive relationship, but it's like told through the metaphor of being a hospice worker and watching someone who you inevitably can't save destroy you and themselves pretty much. And it has some really dark metaphors and stuff in there, but it's also like just really beautifully written and like really puts you in the shoes of like being at the end of an abusive relationship, the other end of it. And I don't know, I really loved a lot of the themes and how it like talks about things in here, and the songs themselves are very good too. It's also very dynamic. I love how quiet it gets, but then also how loud it can get too. I don't know. I liked it quite a bit. And yeah, I would recommend it. It's from like 2009. I've never heard of it before, but yeah, it has very good ratings too. I don't know. I liked it a lot. I gave it a light 9. Some of my favorites were Kettering, Sylvia 2, and Epilogue. All very good tracks.
Cool. Might have
Yeah.
to check that.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Well, how do we want to? I don't remember what we talked about in the videos now. Okay, I kind of spoiled a little bit there. But for our 21 Pilots excursion, we took some videos along the way, a little bit beforehand, a touch during, and then a little bit afterwards, just recapping the concert, doing a little concert vlog,
Yeah.
Do we want to play that now, quote unquote, and then talk about more stuff afterwards, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I mean we can cut to the I don't know if you want to do the car ride bit into like us arriving in Chicago, or if you want to like do the car ride, talk about arriving in Chicago, then play the arriving in Chicago bit. But it might be better just to do. It might be better to do the car ride video and the arriving in Chicago video, and then talk about our like line experience.
Yeah, I think it'd be easier on my end if we just did like the whole vlog as one.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So maybe I think maybe it would make more sense if we just kind of played it now and then talked more detail, I guess ish.
Okay. So it'll be we'll talk. Okay, go ahead. Okay, video time.
Yeah, here's the vlog. Enjoy.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey, we're on our way to ClaNcy Tour. ClaNcy Tour Chicago.
Yeah. Night 1.
And we're gonna
Yeah.
and we're gonna do updates throughout the concert, and they'll be in the pod at points. So more updates to come. Love you. Bye. Hey guys, we're back at United Center, right there. right behind
So
Mike.
small.
Yeah, it's like the smallest venue I've ever seen them in, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know, Chicago's over there. So
Yeah. This city's pretty windy. I'm not sure if people have talked about that before.
yeah, they should really warn a guy
Yeah.
when there's
They should warn a bro.
not a brother.
Yeah. Warn a brothers.
Anyway, we're gonna go get tacos.
Tacos.
And then the line was pretty small compared to Takeover when we got there. So
Yeah, it's just like little pods of people sitting around right now. So we're gonna take advantage to get some food. And
yeah,
then,
yeah,
I don't know, cut everyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
with a knife.
Yeah.
So see you in line.
See you next time.
When it came up, and I'm like, what
It's
are
Mark.
you doing? You're not supposed to line up there.
You'll bear
So
media.
I recommend you go to the back line now.
Wow, that's the real Belmeria.
We were just in one of the judge videos.
We were, and Mark talked to us beforehand.
He did.
He told us, well, he was saying to everyone, he's like, hey, you better know the words, I'm gonna kick you out of my group.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you all know the words? They're like, yeah. He's like, even you in the back? And I'm not sure if he was pointing to me or Colin.
Either
but
one.
Either way, 21 Pilots, BrokeN Boys, canon.
Yep. If we're on the big screen later, we'll take a video of it. But that was cool as hell. Thanks, Mark.
He said we were the best group all tour.
Sure were. So.
21 Pilots.
I hope they play Hot to Go.
Colin, this is an AJ forecast.
Got the penny loaf of squeak, gross linoleum, big flex, complex Napoleon. I say whatever and whatever that I want, sip a Capri Sun like it's Tom Perry. It's all happily with someone in front of me. On the table, everyone can live comfortably. Accommodating hot chips, hypocrisy. NDAs for the folks and talk to me. So tell your friends about a life's anonymous. Keep it cool, keep your move androgynous. I see your problem is your proctologist. Got both hands on your shoulder like a monoverse.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
It was really good. Mike's voice is gonna be gone.
Woo!
We held hands.
We held hands for a solid 5 minutes. That
Yeah,
show. So,
yeah.
I think I got my $200 worth.
I'm ready to take this to the next level.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But
Have you told Max yet?
not yet. But
Okay.
I will. And it's,
That'll be a fun conversation when we get home.
yeah, I might let it wait till the pod comes out. But it was really, really good. Whereas we had the crowd crush at the beginning of Takeover Tour, once the lights went down, there was none of that when the show started this time around, which was interesting to me. I was expecting a good bit, but I'm okay with it. You know, I'm glad that there wasn't.
Yeah.
But you know, I paid $20 for 2 waters, which was nice.
Almost got taxed for it too.
Yeah, I almost had to give a mandatory tip, but I customized it to do 0, which I'm not too upset about. But yeah, I mean, some highlights. What were some highlights for you?
For me, the big one was Jumpsuit. I mean, I've seen Jumpsuit live in a pit before. No, I haven't actually.
Yeah,
I don't think I have.
Takeover tour. They played.
Yeah, true. But in the arena, that in the pit, otherworldly. I actually started tearing up during the bridge. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Something about that visual of the confetti coming down. I think it's a mix of nostalgia for the music video and just the overall representation of it and everything.
Yeah.
It was getting to me. I was like, I was crying a bit. And then I was telling Colin, I'm not usually one to scream, but because my voice usually just can't do it. But for some reason it could when we got to the end of Jumpsuit.
Yeah.
So that's probably what's gonna fuck me tomorrow.
Yeah, there was also a really good transition from Paladin Straight into Jumpsuit. Yeah. They played like the end of the music video with Nico and everything, and then it was just like a cycle beginning Trench again, which was really cool. Some highlights for me, the transitions for other songs were fantastic.
Transitions were great all around.
Yeah, they really were.
Except for, was it Guns for Hands and the Lavish? That was, it's kind of, that's a very lavish thing to do, but it was, that was a surprise.
That was, but the transition from Heathens into Next Semester, that was great. The transition from Holding On To You into Vignette was really good as well. But Jumpsuit's always a highlight for me. That's I think that's their best song live.
I would 100% agree.
It's also my favorite song. Check out my top 100 on TikTok. Yeah. It was fantastic. The trees circle was a little chaotic, but we made it through.
Sorry.
Mike couldn't see anything during trees, but when you have phones, it's gonna happen. But we were very close, and I'm sure you'll see.
I actually really liked the angle that we had.
Me too.
We were basically dead on, and we were, there was a decent bit of people in front of us, but there was way more behind us still. I feel like it was a perfect seat in a movie theater type. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. We also, there were a couple things that we got to take part in that we haven't been able to, like the Mulberry Street lights. That was really cool. A couple times we got our views blocked by tall people or people that were exactly our height.
Yeah.
So it's it wasn't great, but they had nice screens that so we could see when we couldn't.
Cool visuals on the screen too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and speaking of visuals on the screen, BrokeN Boys are part of 21 Pilots lore now.
Yes, we are.
You know that little SpongeBob meme of him pointing to the top of his head in a commercial or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That was us. We were at the very end of a thing. I'll probably put the clip in the episode, so you might have seen it.
Yeah.
But we were singing the judge.
We are canon in 21 Pilots lore now.
Yeah.
It was a great show. I'm really glad we got to go. And I don't know if I would say it's better than they could Takeover tour. Like Mike, we were talking before on the way to the car about how, and Mike was saying that the small show, being as intimate as it was, made it even more special.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just being in the pit for 21 Pilots is always going to be great. And
they're always going to put on a fantastic show too. It's not like this was a disappointing show. This was worth every penny of it. It was great. It was a wonderful time.
It was great. We got to. I punched Mark at the end.
Punched the shit out of Mark.
I beat the shit out of Real Bear Media, but and then some woman from South Africa was asking for confetti from the stands.
Oh, is that where she was from?
Yeah.
I was trying to identify that accent. That makes sense.
But it was cool. I got a lot of confetti in my mouth. I didn't get as sweaty as the Takeover tour.
Yeah, me neither. Well, that was one thing, that we had a whole bunch of nice people around us.
But like there was like I think 3 or 4 separate people who like apologized to me. They're like, I'm sorry if I'm bumping into you. I'm sorry if I'm screaming in your ear. I'm sorry if I'm doing all these things. I'm like, it's okay. I'm all cool. I'm doing the same shit as you guys. Like it's fine. What was I gonna say? Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
It was great, and I'm sure we've talked plenty during this episode.
Yeah.
So, you know, we will. I don't know where this is gonna be put.
Probably towards the end. I don't know.
All right.
We'll see. Or we could talk about the concert after this if we have more thoughts. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Either way, we'll talk to you in a second. So, bye bye.
I hope you enjoyed that vlog. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember entirely the contents of it, but I'm pretty sure that you can piece things together for what's going on.
Right. So it'll be the entire thing, yes?
I think so.
Okay.
The audience knows by this point, but...
Yes, including the car ride back bit where we're deconstructing. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But, you know, we can talk a little bit more, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
There's you know, when we were waiting in line for a while, there's a lot of people just like handing out like art and stuff. Yeah, we got like little printed out pictures of fan art. And then there was someone who was handing out a bunch of wristbands based on what era you enjoyed of their music. I got a little Friend Please one. And then Colin just got Vulture. But you know what?
I have a picture printout.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah,
shout out to this person. I believe they signed it. Yeah.
Yes.
Their signature's a little cut off, but you know. Yeah, little Tyler right there playing the piano. Little ClaNcy Tyler.
Little vignette. Synth Tyler. But
oh yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
It was but that was cool. She came around and like handed us them, and I was like, "Did you draw this?" And she's like, "That's me." And I was like, "That's cool as hell."
Yeah.
It was very cool, very nice of them. But that was cool. The bracelet person was cool as hell as well.
Yeah.
Also gave us like little light cutouts for Oldies Station. Which I didn't use, but
it was kind of a hassle to put on, so I didn't really do it either. But yeah, that's one thing. I think I almost want to say all of the 21 Pilots shows I've been to, but maybe not the first one. I don't know. But like, there's always someone passing out like certain slips of paper to put over your flashlight to make the flashlight a different color at 21 Pilots shows, and like that's always so cool. I love those fan project stuff.
Me too.
Yeah.
But you know, also in line there was we talked about it in the vlog, but the fact that Mark Real Bear Media came out, and was like getting shots of the stadium and everything, and then did the whole judge sequence was super cool. I wasn't expecting him to go to multiple groups to get multiple groups of people to sing for it. Like when the first group went, I was like, "Oh, that sucks. I would have loved to be in that. That's okay though." But then he went to a second group, and then he went to a third group towards where we were standing, and it was like, "Oh my god!" So yeah, we got to become part of 21 Pilots canon.
Yeah, we were there very briefly during the concert too. I took a video of it. I'll probably put it in the vlog, but yeah, just it's like that SpongeBob meme of him, you know, pointing to his head in the distance or whatever. It's just like, oh, there we are in the back. We're right there in the back, right at the very end.
We were a little Mike Wazowski, but
yeah, Mike Wazowski too. Yeah,
but we got in, and that was super cool. It really felt like a full circle moment there.
Yeah.
Just being a fan for so long and getting to be a part of the concert in a way like that, though it might not seem, you know, like a big thing for a lot of people. It's a fairly big moment for me. I would say.
I would say so too. Yeah.
I think it was super cool and super nice, and it was super cool. And there was like a mom who was there.
Oh yeah.
with with her child who would I think they had went into the fan premiere exhibit, like little museum,
Mhm.
and they weren't out there for the judge bit, but they came out. But their mom was talking to us, and she was super nice. She had like a taped logo on her back, and she's like, is this messed up?"
Mhm.
And I've helped fix it a little bit, but she was super nice to talk to as well.
She was like stereotypical Midwestern mom. I loved it.
Yeah, very much so.
Supporting her child's interests.
But it was very cool.
Yeah.
The line experience was good. There was also towards when we were starting to get into like the actual line, we were just like standing there waiting, and there was a person who had like a bin of like ClaNcy stoles and ribbons, and
Oh,
she was
yeah.
handing out little free stickers. And like the bin, she had like 3 QR codes for 3 different payment apps. And she was like selling her stoles and her ribbons,
Mm.
and she was like, "Well, I didn't come here to like sell things, or I didn't come here to like get money out of fans or whatever."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's bullshit."
That's exactly what you're doing. You can't just say it and then do it.
you wouldn't have brought your bin with your with your products if you weren't looking to sell them.
I mean, the products is one thing, but the paper with the 3 different types of payment, that's the one that really, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, you didn't come here to sell anything.
Yeah. But that was silly.
That was
I was
funny.
like, bullshit. I was close to buying a stole, but then they all got bought up, and I was like, that's fine.
I would have lost that shit like instantly.
Yeah. But getting into line was pretty chaotic. I don't think we talked about it at any part of the vlog,
No.
but the the line, we were numbers 588 and 89
That's
in
right.
the
Represent.
hell yeah, and out of the after the first 500 that got the wristbands, and at 8 a.m. We came and we found the line, and then we were like, okay, well, here's where we are. And then we went to lunch, and we had lunch at a very nice and very tasty Mexican restaurant, which was good. I had flautas.
I had a torta.
Yes, flautas are little rolled tacos, for those who don't know, like one of those things from 7-Eleven.
Yeah. And a
if you
torta is a sandwich.
Yes. But it was very tasty, very good. I had a horchata as well, which was delicious. But and then we came back, and I was like, I don't know what wristbands things are going on, so I was just like keeping an eye on. There's like a little security guard car outside of where we were sitting, and I saw somebody go up and get wristbands. I was like, okay, well, maybe we can go get wristbands. And we ended up being less than 100 underneath, well, above the original 500. So
Yeah.
we got those wristbands, and then once we started getting in like the actual line, it was like very chaotic. Very we got to a place where it was like, okay, this feels about where we'd be standing, and then we just kept getting told to move back, keep walking back, creating more room, which was like, it was fine, but it's just like it happened like 5 times.
Yeah.
It was just like, what? Typical line activities.
Yeah.
It's happened in many lines I've been in.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned this, and as I think more about it too, I think I agree with what I said initially, that like, because basically the system that they had set up to prevent it was to prevent fan lines from starting, which is a very big issue in past 21 Pilots tours, where fans will, consider themselves the leader and then be like, okay, I'm gonna set up all these stuff so you can just do a check-in and then come into the line whenever you want, but they're not like official stuff. It's just all fan-led things, which leads to issues. Anyways, the way they combated that was what Colin said, where the first 500 people got like a wristband saying, well, they got numbered wristbands, and you could, I think as soon as like the doors opened at 8 a.m., you can come and get a wristband pretty much. So I think there were people there was definitely a lot of people who got there 8 a.m. ish or whatever, got the wristband and then, fucked off until 4:30 p.m. or so when they had to
Right.
come back. But I don't necessarily know how I feel about that because I mean I wasn't keeping up with how because I'm pretty sure this is what they've been doing at other shows too. But for us, like we got there like 12ish or so, and we were there the whole time pretty much. Like one, I would say like about 1ish or so. We were in like the line, I think,
Yeah.
or not line, but like we were there.
Yeah. Like we went and ate, came back after arriving at like, I don't know, 12:15, 12:30 after walking to the stadium.
Right.
And then,
And there was like,
but yeah,
and it's like you saw in the video. I think we mentioned it a little bit. There's only like I don't know, I want to say like 20 people there or so.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like all those 500 people just kind of came shuffling in around like 4:30 p.m. and it's like I don't like I get that it's important to go out and like, get water, get food, don't stand in a line the whole time because that's just bad or whatever. But like I don't know, it's just like I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, but like
me too.
it definitely is because we got there and we stood there for that long and then there's that many people in front of us. But it's fine. I just think it's a little weird.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it either. Like the takeover tour, we got there, and I don't remember what numbers we were, but we were pretty close to the front ish.
I would say within like 100 people or so for sure.
Yeah, and we got there. There were only like 20 people, like you were saying, and we got our wristbands. We were 500, almost 600 in line, but with there only being 20 people, and then towards 4:30 when you were supposed to arrive, and all these people come flying in, it's like, damn.
Yeah, it's like they got a fast pass a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, props to you for waking up that early, I guess. But a lot of people don't have that opportunity to get there as early as that and make it to the front. So like if you have dreams and hopes and aspirations of getting to like the barricade or anything like that, it's kind of you fuck off.
Squashed.
Yeah, if you don't have any capability of getting there as early as 8, then sorry, bud.
I don't know, it's kind of I think there's pros and cons to both ends of it, to be honest, but like it does feel it's definitely better than the fan made lines because that's also a shit show for similar reasons but less organized reasons, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but the takeover tour was a fan made line, and I thought that it was a little bit more. I thought it was a little bit more well put together. Maybe not like well put together, but more like it just felt like more worth it, I would say.
Yeah, it felt there was like most of the people there were there, I think we left at one point to go get water and stuff like that, and like we were okay, but like I don't know, there wasn't a culture of I don't want to say a culture, but like just like a whole bunch of people coming in at the very end and getting in front of you, basically. I don't know.
And then and then as we were in line before we started moving forward, these a couple people decided to like sit just like by the fence that was near us, and like who definitely had not been near us when we were put in number order. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then as we started moving, they got behind us. And as we got up to the front, they were like checking numbers to see if we were good to go forward. And the people behind us, they were like, "Oh, you aren't for a long time. You got to go back to your spot."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah."
Good riddance. Yeah.
Thank God. I was worried that like with like just trying to get people in, that they might just like let it slide or whatever. But I'm glad that they did. They actually, did what they were supposed to. But then there was also like a moment where the security that was like letting us in and like looking at our tickets were like, "Whoa, hold on, you guys gotta go back." And then another security guy was like, "No, they're good. They're good." It was the people behind them, and I was like, "Phew."
Actually, I don't even think it was those people that caused that issue. It's because it's kind of hard to describe where we were at this point, but like we were about to like walk into the building, and there was a guy who was just walking around the United Center or whatever that like was about to get in line with us, like after they checked our wristbands and stuff, and then a security guard was like, hey, no, you can't do that, can't do that, can't enter through there, and then another security guard thought they were talking to us, is what happened there. Yeah, but.
But then also when we got we got in, and then we got another wristband for just to say that we're in the pit.
Yeah.
And I got 2,247. So I don't know.
I don't think I ever checked that number.
Yeah, it was like, how is that? Okay.
Those might just be, I don't know, just like standard ones they use every night and then cycle through the numbers or something.
Maybe. But yeah, it was cool. And then we got in the pit, we got our spots. We were right in the red circle, the trees circle. And then I was like, I'm gonna go find the bathroom. But before that, some dude came from in front of us. Was like, "Here's some things for your lights for backslide or whatever."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then he was like, "Here, you can pass them out." And I was like, he was like, somebody else gave this to me and just like left them with me, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
that guy was kind of funny though, because he just wanted to get rid of them as much as we wanted to get rid of them as soon as we got them.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, just do what I did, just hand it, just don't even tell him anything about it.
And I tried to with this like a couple of girls that were next to us, but they did not have any interest in listening to me at all. So
yeah.
I was like,
and I tried with the girls next to me, and they're just like, "Oh no, we're good, we have one." And I'm like, "Okay."
So I was like, I'm gonna go find the bathroom, and then I went to Tyler's B stage, and I was like, "Here's these backside lights." They're like, "Oh, cool." And I was like, "Here, you can just pass them out amongst each other."
It's just
like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, yeah.
like the fucking what is that where you just pass off? Is that the monkey paw when you just pass it to other people and it's a burden? I don't know.
But yeah, I did that, and then I went to the bathroom, and then on the way back, I was like, I'll get some waters for us. And then I was expecting them to be like, I don't know. I was expecting them to be bottles of water that were like, I don't know, $5 to $7. And then I got to the front, and I was like, oh, from afar, it looked like $6.89 or something like that. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. And then I got up to the front, and it was like $8.49 for a bottle of water. And I was like, oh. I was like, I'm too far in now. So I bought a couple of bottles of water, and then on the thing, it tried to automatically make me tip 20%, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that part in the vlog, but yeah.
Yeah. But it was just got some water, got hydrated.
But
and
I feel like we had like, despite all my quote unquote complaining about the 500 people getting in front of us, I still felt like we had a really nice spot. I think that's the first time I've been like, at least for a pit experience, that I've been like pretty center in a pit. Usually I'm leaning to one side a little bit, but I was a centrist this time, and it was kind of cool experiencing it that way. Honestly, I liked it.
It was very cool. For my pictures and such, I got a nice, a nice vantage point of the whole stage, which is super cool. I can send a couple of pictures into chat now.
Yeah, we can do that.
But got some cool pics. I like this one very much, of when Demo was revealed.
Yeah. Oh, that was something we forgot to mention in the vlog. Is that they had like this whole, like, that's the city of Dema back there for you uncultured people. That's like part of the lore, and like I was telling, I don't remember if this is in the video or not, but like I wasn't entirely sure. I don't think it was, because I don't think we mentioned it in the video, but I wasn't sure if it was like on the screens and then just like it like was kind of an optical illusion that it was a 3D effect. But as I've seen like more videos and stuff, it's like, no, those are real, because people like who are up in the seats can like see like black circles on the top of them or whatever, so it looks like they're hollow cylinders or something. It's just like this giant, like, this picture doesn't really do it justice to what it looked like in person, but this is like a giant like physical prop thing that's like in the background. That's just like revealed halfway through the show, and
Yeah.
it was awesome.
It was really cool. And this is a cool pic of. I didn't mean to send that second one, but that's okay. It's my profile picture this week, but the ClaNcy in the crowd was another one I liked.
Yeah.
And then
that second one's actually pretty cool too. I like how the colors really pop there. Very ClaNcy colors.
Yes. And then just like them at both of their B stages, I like the lights.
Oh yes.
As well, pointing on them. But yeah, it was very cool. Very cool being in the center of the pit there. There were a couple people that were taller and about our height that got right in front of us at different points in the show.
Yeah.
Which, like, it's the pit. People are going to move and get in front of you. And it's like, I'm sure there were plenty of short people behind us that were like, oh, I can't see.
I had that thought both during this concert and the Magdalena Bay one the other week. Because I was just like, oh, wow, like there's not really a tall person blocking my view here. I can see things pretty well. And I'm like, that just means that I'm the tall person now. That's all that means. I'm the burden.
But yeah, I was before the show. I was talking to. I turned to the guy next to me and I was like, "Oh, how many shows you been to?" He's like, "Oh, this is my first one." I was like, "Oh, very cool." He's like, "How many have you been to?" I was like, 3. This is my 3rd. And he's like, "Oh, cool." And I was like, "You're gonna like it. It's gonna be great." And then after the opener, he turned to me. He was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Yeah."
like overcompensate or Balu Brigada?
Balu Brigada after Balu Brigada.
Yeah.
He was like, "Wow." And I was like, "Yeah, you just wait." I didn't get to talk to him after the show or anything, but it was like, "Yeah, this guy's gonna have a good time."
Yeah. I saw he was carrying a poster and like, I don't know if I mentioned this on pod, but I definitely talked to you that like someone at the Magdalena Bay concert had like a vinyl that they bought. Actually, there was quite a few people who bought vinyls beforehand, and I was like, I would never want to hold a vinyl throughout an entire concert. Honestly, I think a poster is even worse to be like in the pit.
Had it rolled up, like, tucked in the strap of his bag or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that's not getting like
crumpled by other people. Yeah. Yeah.
Throughout throughout Balu Brigada and like the beginning of the show, it was like it kept hitting me in the arm, and I was like, "All right, this is getting a little fucking annoying." But at some point, he got
lost in the crowd.
Next to me.
Yeah, lost at sea.
Lost at sea. But Balu Brigada, though. Speaking of, I liked that. I thought they had a cool vibe. Band of Kiwis.
Yeah. At one point, I was like, "Ah, they're British," and then Colin's like, "I think they're New Zealand, actually." And then they're like, "We're from Auckland." I can't do a New Zealand accent. We're from Auckland, New Zealand, and I was like, "Oh, okay. It'll pass."
But yeah, they were good. It was kind of. I don't know their music, so with like all the instruments and like the loudspeakers and everything, I couldn't hear a lot of lyrics. And without knowing them, I was like, I don't know what they're saying very well.
Yeah.
But it was. I liked their vibe. I liked the use of the synths and the guitar solos were cool. Cool effects on the guitar from one of the brothers.
Yeah.
I like their vibe.
I like their vibe too. I think for me at least, like I think I felt like they had really strong like choruses. Like they had really like hooky hooks. Like they were catchy. But like it was kind of like everything else. I was just like, it's just okay. But the hooks were really good. And I actually was able to. One thing I've been noticing because I wore my ear protection again. Use protection, kids. And yeah, my eargasm protection. That's literally what it's called. Oh yeah, when I have those in, I actually can hear the lyrics a lot better because there's not as much like drum or kick drum and bass like just like destroying my ears or whatever. Like you can actually hear the lyrics a little bit better. And one thing I was gonna mention is I distinctly remember when John Bellion opened for them, that like he had to censor a lot of his stuff. Like they basically kept him at a PG-13 level, no fucks in there pretty much. And then this time for Balu Brigada, one of their songs just like is basically just saying "you're too fucking good for me" like twice in the chorus.
I thought that's what they were saying.
I was just like, I guess maybe the 21 Pilots have I don't know, maybe they instructed John to not do that back then, but then this time they're like, whatever. And then, there's during trees for 21 Pilots, there's the "Here We Fucking Go"
Yeah.
chant. So like maybe they've grown a little softer on that or something. But I was just like, dang, yeah, they're just dropping it now. They're doing it.
Yeah, I saw a tweet when I was saying that they were doing a live album that said that the "Here We Fucking Go" chant is going to get them their first explicit tag on Spotify.
I didn't even think about that, but that's actually probably true. That's probably accurate. Wow.
Yeah, but that was cool. Yeah, Bala Bugatti was cool, and
Yeah,
then
I like it.
the show started. I don't know, for half an hour, 35 minutes after they got finished, and it was great.
Yeah. A lot of fireworks this time around. I think that's new. I think that's new to this tour, is just the pyro stuff in general. Fireworks and is there just a name for that other than pyro when there's big flames going up in the air?
I think it's pyro.
Yeah, just pyro.
Fire.
Yeah, fireworks and pyro.
Yeah, but there was also when Tyler comes on stage at the beginning of Overcompensate, for the first few shows of tour, he was jumping off the piano and grabbing the microphone from high up, and he hasn't been doing that for a while. And then at the next day, he did like a little Q101 like intimate fan thing. With a radio station, and it was revealed that he has a broken femur and a torn UCL, so he hasn't been jumping. And I was like, oh, so he's performing these 3-hour long shows with a broken leg.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you were telling me, he's like, yeah, they're getting old, he's not jumping anymore. It's like, yeah, that explains it. And then also, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've been seeing this, but I've been catching up on some of the tour stuff because I've been avoiding it. Like Josh has like a really bad blister on his thumb that's like been like bugging him for like the last like few weeks. I think like they posted a video recently and he was just like, yeah, it's just like splits open every now and then, sends like a shock, like I get like a shock of pain through my body every time I hit the snare drum. Anyways, let's go out and play the judge or whatever it was.
Yeah. I was like, God damn, that's crazy. How is he doing that?
Yeah, they're being bludgeoned.
Yeah. But still put on a great show.
Oh, yeah.
The 21 Pilots just continues to be the best performing band that I've ever seen, and just I think in general they put on some of the best shows that any band puts on.
Yeah. And
that's not from a completely biased perspective, but it's just the truth. But it was great. We talked about some highlights during the little ending vlog, but some other ones that I didn't mention. I really like the Guns for Hands. That was a great song.
Yeah.
Live. I don't think I've experienced that one live, but
I may have one. I don't remember what the set list was for my very first show, but like that was Blurry Face era, so I bet that was still being played.
I can imagine it would be.
Oh wait, I think it was, because I think was that the. Oh, I don't remember if they did. Yeah, I think they did the hamster wheel at my show. I think or the hamster ball. So yeah, I think they did that during Guns for Hands, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but it was that was super cool. Also Backslide, I think we talked about, but
yeah,
there was a lot of cool. He had us like put our hands in the air and like wave for like the chorus, and that was really cool as well. I also really liked Navigating was great live.
Yeah, I really like how in general they put a lot of like, I don't know if lore heavy is the right word. I mean, I guess so. Like a lot of the lore more stuff was like all kind of in one section after like they revealed the city of Dima. So, there was Navigating, which isn't a lore song, but it's a lore music video. They had Nico and the Niners in there too, which is that where they implemented Cut My Lip? They had Cut My Lip in there somewhere too.
They implemented Cut My Lip in after in the Judge.
That's right, yeah. But
it was the beginning. But
yeah, like I like how there was the lore like section pretty much.
yeah. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. as well. But as speaking of Cut My Lip, I was really happy to hear that one, at least a segment of it live during the judge. I in my top 100, I think that's my number 4, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So I really, really love that song, and getting to hear any of it live, I'll be happy with.
Yeah, for sure.
But
and then they also had Mulberry Street, which I don't remember if we mentioned it in the vlog. But on the Takeover tour, I don't think if they did Mulberry. No, they did do Mulberry, but it was like I think it was a short snippet. But then maybe they did the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did the whole thing, and then they did Benny and the Jets.
That's
well.
right. Yeah, they had Benny and the Jets there too. But for the Scale and Icy tour afterwards, when they were going to the arenas and not at the small intimate shows, they started doing a cool thing with like the lights, where like 1/3 of the stadium holds up for Mole, 1/3 holds up for Barry, and the other third holds up for Street. Oh, Barry Street, right? And then the pit, does the So Good to See You, and like the lights are just, I don't know, like I've always seen videos of that part, of all the lights being coordinated there, and getting to actually do that this time was really cool. It was awesome.
It was, yeah. That was always something that like I was super jealous of not getting to experience.
Yeah.
When I was seeing clips from the Icy tour, especially with like Tina, who was with Brad.
Yeah.
She helped organize like one of those like fan project things, and the first time that they did the lights, they all had like different colors for the sections.
Yeah. I think the Scale and
was,
Icy colors. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was super cool. But yeah, getting to experience that live was like, especially being in the pit and like getting to look out at all of like the seated sections during that was like so fucking cool.
Yeah. A lot of the things hit different when you're actually there than like the videos. Like I think I mentioned in the vlog, but there's like a disappearing act thing that Tyler does, and I knew exactly when it was happening. That was one of the things I was pretty like spoiled on. And I knew when it was happening, when they switched, and there was a body double on stage and all that kind of stuff. Which whoever's doing that body double, convincing as hell. But even getting to like see. Like I knew it was coming. I knew exactly about where he was going to be, but like just the way that they execute it is just so cool. And like it just feels awesome, especially when you're in the pit. Just like, oh, he's supposed to be right there, and then bang, other side of the stadium in the nosebleeds. It's just wild.
Especially when they have like the music cut out and they have like the sound of like the spotlight like showing and like pointing at where he is in the stadium.
Yeah.
And just like looking back and he's up there and it's like, whoa, how did they do that?
It's like I know exactly how they did it, but it still felt so cool in the moment. Yeah.
But it's like I don't know for the Disappearing Act if they like pre-film the close-ups of Tyler.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, it could be.
And like they have like the camera up there just for show. Because like when they zoom in on like the body double, it's Tyler's eyes. Like there's no, unless they have like a crazy mask or something. It's Tyler's eyes and the ClaNcy mask.
They got one of those Walter White masks that I see on TikTok every now and then.
Yeah,
Travis Scott one.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's a case of like they pre-filmed the close-ups and like and then just show it on the screen, or if they actually have like this crazy mask that they put on this body double. But it's still like really well done and really cool.
I think you might be right. I think it is pre-filmed. Like I don't know how else they would do that. Like I mean, I just assumed it was a crazy body double, but like I don't know. Like I think you might be right about that.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was very cool.
Yeah, regardless, it's done very well.
Yeah, but just circle back on the B stages. They did like a medley of older songs, as they've been doing for a while. This tour, it's Act with a Pen, Forest, and Fall Away, and Migraine as well. But
older songs, Migraine. Oh.
It is 10 years old.
Yeah.
Plus years old. But
I say that like I was around during Bessel.
it still makes me feel a little
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
especially the fact that Blurryface is turning 10 next year.
Stop that.
Um,
We'll get there when we get
but-
there. Don't do that.
but yeah, when it comes to like the medley of older songs, I really do wish that they like would play a full version of some of those songs. Like if they played a full version of I understand like not Adequate the Pen, it's a slow, like weird concert song to play.
Yeah.
But like Fall Away I feel like would fit super well.
Yeah.
I think that a full version of even Forest would be super cool. But like I don't know. When it comes to like those short little medley sections, I'm like this. I think this could have probably been, left out. I loved hearing snippets of Addict and Fall Away. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes, if you're not going to play the entirety of Migraine or the entirety of Forest, like I feel like you should just kind of push those to the way. Maybe that's just my opinion.
I feel like and I get why they choose those songs, but like I feel like whenever they do those medley stuff, it's like always Forest, it's always Adequate the Pen, it's always maybe not always Fall Away, but like they've done that one a few times before too. And I would personally love more moments of, if they switched up the medley between the older songs, like when they did during Trench, they did Taxi Cab. Like, I would love to see.
I think they did a full version of that.
What's that?
I think they did a full version of Taxi Cab.
Yeah, I think I think so too. But like, I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like when it comes to like some of those older stuff, I would like to see them switch up and not just do the fan favorite older ones, because honestly I think I've mentioned this before, but like the fan favorite stuff in the older songs are usually not my favorites.
Right.
And I think it would be cool to, I mean, they were playing Slow Town at other shows. They didn't get to play that for us. And like, I think having full versions of those old songs it feels a little bit more special, I guess, instead of doing medleys of tracks that they've been doing usually when they do like the old medleys. Like especially Adequate the Pen, like it's a great track, but I've never loved that one as much as other people, and it's just like this is always the go-to old song that they do.
Like with them having played Trapdoor and Isle of Flightless Birds at like those smaller shows, if they had done snippets of those, that would have been fantastic. I would have been happy with that. If we weren't going to get like full versions of those songs on the full world tour, just like the medley section and having those be the self-titled tracks that they chose would have been awesome. I would have loved to hear Tyler belt out Trapdoor, or
beautiful.
The Duke rap for Isle of Flightless Birds. Like it would have been great. But yeah, like you were saying, they always do a select couple tracks, and it's like, okay.
Kitchen Sink is usually part of it too. They don't have it this time, but like that's usually one that they go to as well. And just like I don't know, I don't remember if I mentioned to you on the car, but like I've always thought that like if they were to do Anathema live again, like that song would rip ass live. Maybe that's not the proper terminology. But it would be really good. But like even other stuff too, like if I'm not huge fans of songs like Glowing Eyes or I don't know, something else from there. I mean even Be Concerned and Clear, I can leave those pretty happily, to be honest. But even if they did it, that'd be pretty special, I guess. I don't think Be Concerned would happen, but maybe Clear potentially. But I don't know. Any weird rant, but
yeah. I mean, otherwise, in terms of like songs or moments that I was like, Fake You Out. It was cool live, really cool.
Yeah.
I think we can talk about it. It's any song I'm happy to hear, but I feel like they could have switched that one out for a different track.
Yeah, and if we're talking about mem moments, honestly, I'm looking at the set list right now. I kind of completely forgot that Shy Away happened. Like I like that song, I think that song's great, but like I don't know. Like I was looking at the set list, I'm like, oh yeah, they did do Shy Away, didn't they?
If they did a different version where they were like standing up and Josh was at a drum pad and Tyler was on, I think, a bass, and they were facing each other on stage, and like it was a cool little moment. And I have a video of it, but it's like I don't know. I think that that one could have been left off. They could have done another thing from Scaled Nicey.
Yeah.
Like it was like I don't know.
Never take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. No Chances to Redecorate. I would have loved to hear one of those.
Redecorate would have been so good. Yeah.
Yeah, like
But No Chances would have been great too. Yeah. But yeah.
I know on the Icy tour they did full versions of Redecorate, and during the Takeover tour they did just like that, like the live stream Rain Boy little rap section, and that's cool. But you know, a full version of Redecorate would be really cool.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
And you know, I just feel like Fake You Out could have been replaced with Oldie Station, or not Oldie Station, with Slow Town.
Yeah. I agree with that. Actually.
Yeah, especially since they both used like the guitar that he brought out.
Right.
That's like a perfect place to like cut Fake You Out, bring Slow Town, make everyone happy. Like people love Fake You Out, and I understand, but it's definitely not one of my favorites on Vessel. Yeah. And would have been cool to see a different song there.
But to circle back around to some positives, one thing I don't think we mentioned either. Josh Dunn is singing this tour. I think I knew about all of his singing parts, unfortunately. But you know, people spread those like wildfire once that started. But you know, Josh singing is pretty crazy, pretty new for the band. I mean, they had it during the MTV Unplugged, and he sounded phenomenal there. But like, I love how they're implementing it into the show. Like during Paladin Straight is when he started, whatever. And he's singing the lower part of Bandito, and Tyler singing the higher part. And then Tyler goes into the Paladin Straight bridge with Josh still doing the Bandito thing. And then he's also singing you know, the Making My Way Towards You. He's like helping Tyler there too. Like I was even thinking during the show, I'm like, you know what, low key, the way that they present this song, it's basically Josh's song, and I kind of love that. Yeah. Because he's doing those backup vocals there, and then he does the Bandito snippet, and then he does the Drum Island in there. It's like this is like his moment, and I kind of love that about it.
Yeah, I really loved the just the collaboration between Bandito and Paladin Straight. Oh, yeah. It's such like it's a weird, like something you wouldn't expect, but when they do it, it completely works together.
Yeah,
and I love that's like they're not facing each other, and that's another cool thing. But just like Josh singing "Making My Way Towards You," and just you know exclaiming the fact that he's a Bandito. He's like pretty. He's the leader of the Banditos.
Low key, I didn't even connect that. That makes that even better. I love that.
Yeah, it's like a little navigating moment inside of Bandito Paladin Straight. But yeah, that was super. I loved all of his singing moments. He also did the "What's Your ETA" and like the
Chill Out Man.
Yeah, and also the one before that I've been forgetting.
Yeah.
But just like it's kind of funny as he's like banging on the drums, he's like kind of yelling into the microphone those bits. But it's still super impressive to me that someone who's playing the drums can just like sing and like clearly. I could never do anything like that. Yeah. But super, super cool. I really enjoyed those moments. I also think he sang some of Stressed Out, which was great.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But, more Josh Dunn moments, please.
Mm-hmm. Get him on in the album, too. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the live album, his singing moments are going to be...
That's true. Immortalized. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But, and then also the... when he got on the Drum Island for Paladin Straight, we were fairly close to the Drum Island, and hearing the snare through the snare, but also like on top of the mic'd up, like the speaker version of it on top of like the getting pounded with the noise of the real snare was like such a weird and cool thing.
Yeah.
It was close for the Saturday Drum Island at the Takeover tour as well, but I don't remember that coming through.
I don't think there's that I don't think they have to do I don't think they have to do the delay as much when it's a smaller show like that. I think when it's the arena, literally the sound has to travel further, so the delay has to be stronger. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another cool moment was the Heavy Dirty Soul. Just the
Oh, yeah.
bass with that song. This tour live, it was just like the most intense bass I've ever felt. And it was like I felt it throughout my entire being. And it was just
Yeah.
like crazy, and it fit like the feeling of that song you get when you listen to it so well. And then like on top of like Tyler screaming in that song, yeah, it was just so cool.
Yeah, I had my earplugs in, and I that bass was still reaching my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really, really great show. I had a great time.
Yeah.
In the in the end vlog there, I think I alluded to the fact that I think I like the Takeover Tour show a little more, just because it was like a nice, small, intimate show compared to a stadium. But being in the pit for an arena show like that, it's a very different thing.
Yeah.
You get obviously you hear everyone around you in like a small show, but like hearing the echo from the stands in an arena was like super cool as well.
Yeah.
Like at certain moments I would like through everything I would hear everyone singing from the stands from next to me and behind me, and it was just so cool to have that echo of everyone singing on with Tyler.
Yeah.
And like along with the music, it was just such a cool thing.
I guess that's one of the moments I my earplugs did prevent me from hearing a little bit. I didn't really hear much of the crowd echo.
Yeah, but it was very cool.
I can imagine. Yeah, it sounds cool.
But yeah, great show.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next visit. But
Yeah. It's
yeah,
gonna be great.
you said did you end up losing your voice, or did you keep it?
I actually didn't. The next day I woke up and I was in the house alone, and I kind of just started talking to myself a little bit, and like my voice is like the lowest I think I've ever heard it. I was like, "Whoa, this is a new person. What the hell's going on?" And actually, it was so low, in fact, that there's a track that I'm working on for plaintive music where I had like a lower vocal doing like an octave below or whatever, kind of like a how Tyler does in some things.
Uh-huh.
And I had that in there, and I was never really like super happy with the take that was in there, and I was like, it's okay, it'll service. And I was like, hold on a second, now my voice is like low, so I redid the take with a properly like supported low voice, and I haven't messed with it yet, but I have a feeling that that'll be a cool moment to be able to have in there. So
Yeah.
shout out ClaNcy Tour for making it into my song potentially.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. After I have never ended up losing my voice because of a concert. And like I didn't think I would this time. I didn't, but like I think from like screaming and yelling and just seeing everything so loud, I gave myself like a little cough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just like, oh, I hope
Yeah.
I'm not sick, because like on top of that, my allergies were going crazy, and I
Yeah.
was very sniffly and sneezy as well.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just I don't know. It was so cool, and I'm really glad.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
I was just gonna say I was surprised I didn't lose my voice. Continue gushing. It was so cool, and you were really
It was
glad.
just so cool and so fun, and I'm really glad that I got to enjoy another concert with you. But
Yeah.
also, just getting to see my favorite band live is a gift and a pleasure. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
very excited for the next time we
Mhm.
get to go around.
Me too.
But
I hope we get to hold hands next time too.
yeah, we did hold hands.
Yeah, that was in the vlog for sure.
Yes. But I'll mention it as many times as I want, because
Uh-huh.
it was a nice nice moment.
I'll
I'm
always
glad
mention. Yeah, I'll always mention that Vince unironically asked me out and has never broken up with me. And then also that Colin and I held hands at a 21 Pilots show. This is this is just canon to life now.
Full linked fingers and everything.
Oh yes, yeah. It was hand grasping.
Yes. It was a nice tough hand holding. We were holding on for dear life to each other.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It did. It sure did.
Yeah. But also, like, the drive home, I was very tired.
I was
there were a
worried
couple
for you.
moments, yeah, there were a couple of moments where I was like, "Ooh, I'm really tired." But yeah, I made it back and everything. But Wednesday, um, after I didn't get to sleep in as much as I wanted to, and that was the most tired I've ever felt. I think, like, I have never been so worn out,
Oh.
and I was just so tired that whole day. I'm so glad I requested that day off.
I was gonna
as
say,
well.
did you have to work? Okay, that's good.
No, but I was just exhausted, and it was just like I'm happy that I got to do what I did, and I'm glad I was off as well. But God, I was so fucking tired.
Yeah.
But it was really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think we've basically filmed 2 episodes at this point, so
Yeah. Even this week from last week, it's okay.
And the week before, I think we have a few 2-hour episodes in a row here. But that's okay. But yeah, it was a great concert. I've said this like too many times in this video, but I don't remember if I said this in the vlog. But even for people who like say, that don't like 21 Pilots and think they're cringe or whatever, I don't think I've ever seen a single person deny that they put on like one of the best live shows you can go see. Like that, it's something that they're known for, honestly, is that their live sets are just incredible. So it's a pleasure to be able to experience that with you, and be able to experience that in the pits and have those memories for this. And yeah, great stuff.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, any chance you have any other things to add on before we jump into the song of the week?
I think we're all good to jump into that segment.
All right. Well, I was loving the Geordie Greep album that came out, but some of my favorite songs on there are very much on the long side, and I don't think I should do that for this episode. So stay tuned. But what I did, I do want to highlight though, was that Hospice album that I listened to, and on there is I think I remember enjoying the song Sylvia quite a bit when listening to it for the second time. So I'm going to go with Sylvia by the Antlers. All right, that was Sylvia by the Antlers. What'd you think of that, Colin?
I think that was super cool. I wasn't expecting it to like blow up the way it did.
Yeah.
But I did like that aspect. I think it's definitely something that if I listened to this album with headphones and just like laid down, stared at the ceiling and listened to it, I would really enjoy. Right up my alley, I think. But cool vibe. I feel like if I was looking deeper into the lyrics, it would have been a little more heartbreaking. It's by the album cover alone, it looks sad, as well as the fact hospice. Yeah, very cool. I'll definitely have to like look into this album and listen to that track again. But cool, I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I forgot to mention when I was talking about it. It's one of those albums that like really demands to be listened to as an album. Like it's not really one that's easy to pick tracks from and be like, oh yeah, this is a cool track to just throw on whenever. It's very, with the dynamic shifts and all that kind of stuff. It very much, like I said, wants to be listened to as an album and almost calls for that. But yeah, the lyrics are great on there. I love how it paints like, just the abusive relationship in this one. Like the really soft vocals are just like just saying like, I don't know, just like representing being in that meeker state while someone else is, I don't know, screaming and cursing and putting their head in the oven and that kind of stuff. It's just really, that's what the lyrics say. It's just, I don't know. I really love just like the way that the music itself plays into the story there. And it was one that I really like the horns towards the end too. Yeah, it's a great album, great track, and yeah, cool. What do you think this week?
Well, I didn't listen to anything, and throughout that entire song, I was looking for a song to pick for my song. Repeat the same word over and over again, many times as I can. But I was looking through my like songs, and one album that I never highlighted anything from, but that I remember enjoying quite a bit was the Car by Arctic Monkeys.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to go with my favorite track off of there. I'm going to go with There Better Be a Mirror Ball by Arctic Monkeys.
That there's a mirror ball.
All right, that was There Better Be a Mirror Ball by Arctic Monkeys. What do you think, Mike?
That's great. It's a great song. A song that I have heard before, and I was a little perplexed that this wasn't in the song of the week, to be honest with you, because I feel like I have memories of you putting this in there and like us being in the apartment and you doing that, but
Right.
I guess I'm just delusional. But I've heard this song at some point, and I was saying maybe you just sent it to me. It wasn't part of an episode, but it's a great track. I do love like that opening section quite a bit. The instrumental is lush and gorgeous. And I know there are some mixed opinions on like Alex Turner's like crooner voice that he's been doing on the last couple albums.
Yeah.
But I think he does really well on that track. I think he fits it very well. And it's just, I don't know, it's a very pleasant listen. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that album in going on a couple of years at this point, but it's from what I remember, he does that crooning kind of voice throughout that entire album, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. Feels like it's just being sang in like a little like bar or like a club or something. He's on stage, and it's like there's smoke in the air and everything.
Yeah.
Especially that song. And I don't know. I really like when like music feels like that. It's kind of like Leve, where it just feels like she's like a little club and she's crooning on stage.
Loungy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I like that track a lot. It's an album that I think I'm gonna revisit now that I hear that song. But yeah, I just needed a song, so I picked that one.
There you go. I mean, it's a good one to pick considering I thought it was already in there.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, no, it's a great. I remember you wanted me to listen to that album. I think I saw it was 2022. When that came out. I don't think I ever did, but one day they might, if they're on the wheel, maybe then I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, great pick. Cool.
Yeah. And the song that came on shuffle after that finished was Bezos One. So
nice. More
yeah.
That's more 2020 than 2022, but
yeah.
Maybe 2021. But shout out Bo Burnham.
Shout out
wherever you may be. All right. Oh well, if we're all good, we can transition into a little bit of an outro here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alrighty. Well, if you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. We appreciate you to death, and we also love you in life. And yeah. But you can come on over to YouTube and see our beautiful profile pictures, some of the pictures that we were talking about earlier that Colin sent, as well as visuals for the tour vlog. You haven't seen us in a hot sec in video format, but we still exist in our physical forms, and we can even prove it in those videos. So if you want to see that, we're under the same name on YouTube, BrokeN Bois, capital N BOIS. And there you can see that, as well as our beautiful profile pictures of Tyler and the little 21 Pilot symbol, raising a fist or holding the microphone. Actually, I think is what's happening there. And then Batman minus the bat. And just man. Come on over and see those, as well as links to the Song of the Week playlist, that segment that we just did, where you can go listen to Sylvia by the Antlers, or There Better Be a Mirror Ball by Arctic Monkeys. You can find those in our combined playlist down there, and we also have a playlist for myself as well as Colin. And all those got good stuff in it. Go check it out. ClaNcy's in there. There's a lot of 21 Pilots in there at this point.
Yes.
We talk about that band sometimes, and every now and then. Yeah, go check those out. For myself, as I was talking about a little bit earlier, I make music. I am making music under the name Plaintive. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you find music. I have an album out called Coping Mechanism from a couple years ago at this point. Yeah, it's almost November. I have a song dedicated to November. So go see what that's about. And I was revisiting that song a little bit earlier this week, and I was like, damn, that's a good song. But not to toot my own horn, but you know,
You can toot it all you want.
yeah.
I'll do it for you. That's a great song.
All right, thank you. But yeah, you can go check that out down there. I also have an album of the year page where I rate and review music. All those albums I talked about earlier today got reviews up, except for Blonde, because I'll revisit that at some point. Yeah, I have my TikTok down there as well as my Instagram and my YouTube page, and I think that's it for links. As for my proximity to you, dear viewer, I mean, yeah, you know how we talked about how there's a body double for Tyler?
Yeah.
That's me. I'm
Oh.
up on stage under that ClaNcy mask at the nearest 21 Pilots show to our viewer, and they are turned around in the pit, and I am behind them. Oh, actually, you know what? No, they're turned around looking up into the nosebleeds at real Tyler, and I am behind them because they're no longer looking on the stage at my fake ass. So
I like where it's going.
yes. I could be setting you up, or you can misdirect, whatever you want to do. As for Colin, he runs our socials. He runs our TikTok page where he posts funny little clips of us. He also posted, actually, I think this might have been on his personal account, but he posted a little funny, I hope they play Hot to Go type video on his page. Maybe he can repost
I did.
Huh?
Yeah, I reposted it on the Pod Talk.
There we go.
Yes, so you can go see that.
Yes.
And also give me a personal follow if you want.
There you
Up
go.
to you.
Follow him personally. And he also runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted as well as any other updates that need be. And for Colin, he also, for personal stuff, he has a album of the year page where he rates and reviews music. He also has a letterbox where he rates and reviews movies, maybe an It Chapter 1 review on there.
I didn't review it, but I did review Interview with the Vampire. So you can check.
Yeah, go check that out. Give it some love. And he also has an Instagram review page. Yes, he does. Colin, what is your what is your relation to our dear viewer?
Well, as you are the buddy double on stage, I'm gonna be the guy spotlighting Tyler.
Wow.
Yeah. So a little. I forget what word I'm looking for.
The spotlighter.
Yes, I'm the spotlight guy, and I'm pointing the light at the real Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And, I guess somehow I'm in front of the viewer, but they are in the pit, and once Tyler finishes his screaming to the end of Car Radio, we're all going to be cheering and excited, and the body double you being the body double and me being the spotlight guy are gonna get down in the pit and just celebrate. And we'll bump into a dear viewer, and they'll go, "Whoa, hey, it's the BrokeN Boys," and we'll go, "Yeah, we're the BrokeN Boys."
We got that a few times at the show.
We did. We were very famous,
Yeah.
and they saw us on screen, and they were like, "Whoa, are those the BrokeN Boys?"
It's the
And,
BrokeN Boys, yeah.
Everyone turned towards us during the judge, and we're like, "Holy shit, it's the BrokeN Boys!"
Yeah,
And
it was awesome. And then everyone clapped. Yeah.
everyone gave us a standing ovation, including Tyler and Josh.
Yeah.
So it was super sweet. But as we're all celebrating the fact that Tyler just did a teleporting trick, we're going to give our dear viewer at the 21 Pilots concert a personal ClaNcy love cage, and we're going to hug them from in front and behind. And as we do that, I'm going to unmask you from your ClaNcy mask, and
Unveil me.
I'll give you. Yeah, unveil you. We're getting married, and we're.
I mean, we held hands. We're like 2 steps and there.
Yeah, I mean, you're already pregnant. That's what happens when you hold hands.
Well, yes, yeah.
But I'm protected at least. But I'm gonna unveil you of your ClaNcy mask, and right next to the viewer, they know what's up. They've heard the pod. We're going to give smooch real nice right next to our dear viewer's head, and everyone in the crowd's gonna go, "Aw." And we're just gonna smooch for a while Tyler sings "The Craving," and it'll be nice and sweet. He's gonna dedicate it to us.
Just make it out through the whole song. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just gonna. That's what we like to call the love cage, the embrace that we just had. And if you'd like your very own, all you got to do, dear viewer, is drop your address in the comments below, and we'll find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you and give you your very own love cage. So go do that.
Beautifully said. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Well, next week we're gonna spin a wheel and hopefully have the timestamp be closer to 1 hour rather than 2.
No promises. But
No promises. See you next week.
Bye-bye.